Now on Nightside, the mysterious death of a woman found in a field last Wednesday finally explained.
Dense fog blanketing the region this evening, and I'm tracking rain in the Friday forecast.
And the huge step in preserving the future of the Pac-12 that was made today. You're watching 4 News Now, Nightside. We now have a better idea when the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students will stand trial. Thanks so much for staying up with us. I'm Derek Dice. The state filed a motion to have Brian Koberger's trial be held during summer vacation. The state citing parking and safety concerns for students in Moscow High School since it's right next door to the courthouse. This comes as the prosecutors went back inside the home where Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin were killed for the last time today. Latah County prosecutor Bill Thompson and Idaho Deputy Attorney General Ingrid Beatty, along with some others, spent about an hour inside the house. They also walked around the outside and went onto the back porch and the upper parking. They were later seen outside pointing to an area in the back of the house. It's slated to be torn down next week. The Spokane County Medical Examiner has determined that 65-year-old Carol Street, who died in the Minnehaha neighborhood while walking her dog on December 13th, died of a heart attack. Her body was found with dog bites on her arms, but the medical examiner says those injuries happened after she died. 4 News Now talked to Carol's friends after her death. You can read how they're remembering her on KXLY.com. Well, Washington State and Oregon State universities have reached an agreement with the departing Pac-12 schools to end their legal battle over control of the conference. Sports Director Julian Minnesone joins us in studio with the details. So, Julian, what does this mean for the future now of WSU athletics?
Well, more money, less problems for Washington State. It gives WSU and OSU some financial flexibility to rebuild the Pac-12. The departing schools have agreed to forfeit a portion of revenue distributions for the remainder of the 2023-24 school year. They've also agreed to provide specific guarantees against potential upcoming liabilities that the conference could encounter. Washington State and Oregon State are also guaranteed the rights to all of the conference's assets and future revenues. Washington State and Oregon State have a 2-year grace period to operate as a 2-team conference before they decide to rebuild this whole thing. Now, WSU and OSU leadership released a joint statement saying that this agreement ensures that the future of the Pac-12 will be decided by the schools that are staying, not those that are leaving. It's a huge step in preserving the future of the conference. And speaking of WSU, the Cougars men's basketball team just wrapped up against Boise State at Spokane Arena, right across the street. Heck of a game. We're going to have highlights and post-game reaction coming up later in sports.
Yeah, it was a fun one. Thanks, Julian. Well, there are a record number of bald eagles at Lake Coeur d'Alene right now. Every year, bald eagles migrate to North Idaho around mid-November to feed on salmon. You can expect to see several, if not hundreds, at Beauty Bay, Higgins Point, or Wolf Lodge Bay. The Bureau of Land Management counted over 400 of them yesterday, but there isn't much time left to check them out. Most of those eagles will begin migrating south in January. And hopefully, if you went, you weren't soaked in by fog, because as you can see right here behind us, there's still a lot of it across the region.
We have a dense blanket of fog through the Spokane area. It is difficult to see at times, and we're starting to see our temperatures drop as well. Here's a look at where our dense fog advisory is in effect until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning for western Kootenai County up through Bonner and Boundary County, also through the Northeast Mountains, Spokane County, and out into parts of the Columbia Basin. Doesn't quite reach Moses Lake, and the Palouse is left out of this. We have enough of a southeasterly wind that it's visibility at 10 miles in Pullman. You're in good shape. We've had some patchy fog in Lewiston, but the really dense fog is right in Spokane. We've actually cleared out quite a bit in Coeur d'Alene as we zoom in around the region. We have less than a quarter-mile visibility out at the Air Force Base, at the airport, in Spokane Valley, a mile in Deer Park. We had visibility very, very low in Coeur d'Alene and Hayden, as well as Spirit Lake, but that has improved considerably just in the last half hour. And as you can see with that clearing, temperatures have dropped to freezing in Hayden, Post Falls, Spirit Lake, 32 degrees, where we're still in the mid-30s through the I-90 corridor in eastern Washington, and will likely stay right around freezing overnight tonight. So as you head out tomorrow morning, watch for spots where that fog has frozen to the roadways. It'll be a dry but foggy start start to the day. And then the chance of rain is in the forecast as early as mid-morning, much more likely as we get into the afternoon. And if it sticks around long enough, we'll make that transition into a rain-snow mix or even some light snow in spots. I'll take you hour by hour through the wet weather on the way for Friday in just a few minutes. Derek.
Sounds good, Chris. Thanks. Spokane Mayor-elect Lisa Brown announced who she plans to appoint to her cabinet when she takes office on January 1st. Justin Lundgren will be named the interim chief of police. Lundgren is currently the assistant police chief and has been with SPD since 1997. Brown also announced she'll appoint Maggie Yates as the assistant city administrator. Yates is currently the Community Reinvestment Program administrator at the Washington Office of Civil Legal Aid. In the last 2 weeks, 2 women have been found murdered in the Spokane area. The families of Janelle Martinson and Kiara Morgan Whelan say they shared concerns over their loved ones trapped in a cycle of abuse and drugs. A local domestic violence survivor says there are resources to help people and families escape bad situations. It's been more than 10 years since Taffy Hunter got out of an abusive relationship with her ex-husband. Hunter is now guiding resources for other domestic violence victims because she knows exactly what they're going through. She says many victims are dealing with drug addiction. It's often used in a relationship against victims and survivors.
Feel just so muddled and foggy, and it's so hard to make sense of, and it's chaotic what's happening. You know, the person you love is hurting you, and it doesn't make sense, right? And so reaching out to a professional in that way can really help gain that clarity.
If you live in Spokane, you can contact the YWCA or Lutheran Community Services for help. In North Idaho, Safe Passage has a 24/7 hotline. Making that phone call can make victims feel unsafe at home, but Hunter says there are alternative options like texting. She says breaking the isolation is the first step for victims. 2 men accused in the murder of a man in East Central Spokane nearly a year ago are in jail tonight. According to court documents, Elijah Harvey and Takeo Bay worked in tandem to allegedly kill Carlos Thomas. According to the documents, the two found Thomas sleeping in his car in the early morning hours of December 31st, 2022. This was outside the Parkview Apartments in East Spokane. Harvey appeared in court this afternoon to face the charge of first-degree murder. Investigators believe Harvey fired 2 shots hitting Thomas in the side and chest. They say Bay, who will appear in court tomorrow, helped coordinate the attack. Harvey's mom even helped detectives with this investigation. Harvey has multiple convictions and is being held on $1 million bond. Around the Northwest, 3 Tacoma police officers have been found not guilty of murdering Manuel Ellis. The charges stem from a 2020 incident where officers detained Ellis for allegedly trying to open the doors of occupied vehicles. Multiple cameras recorded the arrest, and he could be heard saying, "I can't breathe," on police dispatch audio. The case drew comparisons to the death of another black man in police custody, George Floyd, in Minneapolis that same year. All of the officers could have faced life in prison if convicted. An attorney for Ellis's family expressing disappointment in the verdict, pointing out Ellis was unarmed at the time of the incident. Well, the holiday travel season is back, and so are the headaches that come with it. What you should expect if you're traveling for the holidays, and how a small act of kindness inspired a Spokane family to start a yearly Christmas tradition for sick children.
Beautiful pick of the night tonight, a gorgeous December sunset from Janelle Barbier at Newman Lake. She calls this Fire and Ice. Aptly named, she captured this gorgeous image last night. I will be back with your 7-day forecast after the break.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY+.
4 News Now is brought to you by Parker Subaru.
We are here in Israel, a nation at war, the worst attack in 50 years. Israel waging a fierce bombardment of Gaza.
When it matters most, America turns to David Muir and ABC's World News Tonight.
I was only planning to jingle some of the way tonight, but now I think I might be jingling all the way for you.
It's never too early for late night cheer.
How satisfied are you with your visit with us?
I'm not satisfied.
Jimmy Kimmel Live, weeknights on ABC.
My darling granddaughter, this camera was given to me when I was your age. May it capture your big, beautiful life the way it did mine.
It's so surprising what the little things can do. Wouldn't it be wonderful if everybody
Oh, Merry Christmas, Grandma.
When I was told I had a brain tumor, my life disappeared in a moment. I feared for my future, but even more, I feared for the ones I love. How would they move on without me? But when my doctor told me about the Gamma Knife of Spokane, everything changed. I can get my brain tumor treated in just one day and continue living the life I love. Because of Gamma Knife, I have hope.
Hi, I'm Michelle with APH Buys Homes, and we buy houses for cash. We're local home buyers who help homeowners in difficult situations get paid fast. Inherited houses, foreclosures, family disputes, rented or vacant, even nicer homes you just can't keep up with. We buy them all. So before you call anyone else, give us a call for a free cash offer. Just call 509-818-1800. That's 509-818-1800.
4 News Now is brought to you by Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Welcome back. The holiday travel season is back, and so are the headaches. The Spokane International Airport is expecting a record-breaking amount of passengers between now and January 2nd. So a heads up for those traveling tomorrow. It'll be one of the airport's busiest days. At least 15,000 people will pass through. The busiest times are expected to be between 11 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. So if you'll be at the airport around then, you'll want to give yourself plenty of time.
It's a little bit more busy. Everybody's in a rush trying to get home, fly home, come home. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a traffic jam.
Chris and I decided we're big fans of Terry there. The airport recommends arriving at least 2 hours before boarding. For more holiday travel tips, you can visit our website, kxly.com. And if you're driving to the west side of the state for the holidays, you probably won't be dealing with snow aside from the passes, but traffic will still slow you down. That's why the Department of Transportation shared this graph showing the busiest times to drive over Snoqualmie Pass. That's going to be Saturday afternoon between about noon and 5. And then heading back east after the holiday will be the busiest day, will be the busiest the day after Christmas. You can expect most traffic a little earlier in the day between 9 and 2. But no matter where you're going and whether you're driving or flying, it could be a lot worse, right?
Oh my goodness, yes. Especially past travel should not be much of an issue. Although if I were traveling tomorrow, I think I'd try to hit that pass early in the afternoon.
Yeah, no doubt.
You'll have to deal with a little fog in the morning, however. Here's a look right now. You know, it's not a big deal when you're just going around the neighborhood, but once you get off on the interstate and you cannot see very far in front of you at night, it is a real problem. We've got I-90 and Argonne Road on the left, I-90 and Harvard Road on the right, and it is a problem. And then add to that a little bit of freezing fog sticking to the roads. We have a dense fog advisory through 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then as early as late morning, we have the chance of rain in the forecast. Some of our models holding it off until the afternoon, but it looks like it will be right in that noon time. A mix of rain and snow late, but right about the time we'd be cold enough to see that transition, will be drying out, and there's still a slight chance of snow on Christmas Day. It's fairly fast moving cold front that is going to be making its way across our region, bringing some light precipitation to the Cascades early in the day and then into the rest of the region. Here is 1 o'clock. Behind the front, we're going to be cooling down, but also drying out for the weekend. And as this front approaches, we're going to see those temperatures drop and that transition from rain to snow. Here's a closer look at the computer model. I'm starting this off Friday morning at 6 in the morning. Maybe seeing just a few sprinkles early in the morning, but then by noon, a better chance of rain and mountain snow. By the time we're driving home from work Friday evening, although I think a lot of people are leaving early, you're going to run into the snow developing in the central panhandle, but the model really wants to dry us out in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. If this is too fast and this is a little bit later hanging out in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, then we will see that transition to some snow. But any accumulations will be on grassy surfaces and fairly light, like 1/10 of an inch. Traveling over the passes, I have it as yellow, caution, just because of the wet weather. Snoqualmie and Stevens will both be a rain-snow mix through early afternoon and then transitioning to snow. And then some minor accumulations at Snoqualmie, more on Stevens. Look out past a mix of rain and snow turning to snow late. Again, light accumulations. 4th of July pass, mostly rain for the first part of the day, and then again transitioning to snow. We're going to be transitioning to a little bit of sun potentially on Saturday. Cooler weather back down around average on Christmas Eve. And we start warming up again back into the 40s for Wednesday and Thursday with that wintry mix. Nothing to shovel here, folks. Overnight lows will be down in the 20s to right around freezing through the 7-day forecast.
How many toys do you think were delivered today? There was a lot of them.
99.
It's a pretty decent guess, but today there were actually hundreds of toys delivered to Sacred Heart Children's Hospital. That little boy you just heard from is Caden Averiett. He was born with a birth defect and had to stay in the hospital at Sacred Heart after he was born. While his family was there, they were surprised with a small gift. Caden's dad, a Coeur d'Alene police officer, was so touched he set up a toy drive so every family spending Christmas in the hospital can still experience some holiday joy. This is now the 8th year of that toy drive, and it was also Caden's 9th birthday. It was a scary time for his family. He was in the hospital for over 6 months, but what made the experience less scary were the presents that were left for their family at the hospital. This kindness inspired his family to hold this toy drive.
We wanted other families to feel what we felt that morning and just be super excited to be like, oh my gosh, somebody remembered my kid.
This drive started with just 4 police cars dropping off toys and has since grown to almost 10 cars, including multiple trucks full of toys. Great story. All right, next on Nightside, deaths from poor diet have grown significantly enough in recent years to impact life expectancy. More than 21,000 people died from malnutrition in 2022, the rate more than doubling over the past 5 years, especially among those age 85 and older. But deaths have increased across nearly all age groups. Experts say a person suffering from malnutrition doesn't always look stereotypically frail and skinny. People of any size should check that they're getting enough nutrition. And we all know a potato is a vegetable, right? Well, that fact may actually change. The Wall Street Journal reports a federal committee is considering changing the SPUD's classification and putting it in the same group as rice, other grains, and carbs. Makes sense to me. The debate comes as the Departments of Agriculture and Health and Human Services consider updates to national diet guidelines for 2025. If potatoes get moved out of the veggie category, you'll no longer get credit towards eating your veggies when you eat them. Nutritionists say potatoes' health benefits are lessened when they're fried. So French fries don't count as your serving of veggies. Well, how to keep young children safe as you gather in the homes of your friends and family for the holidays, that's next on Nightside.
Later tonight on Nightline, skinny shots. 2023, the year drugs like Ozempic became household names. Doctors support their use, but some insurance companies won't cover the costs. Plus, Kelsey Watts, millions of views for her powerhouse voice.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Spokane and North Idaho's country leader.
Drinking watermelon moonshine.
Big 99.9 Coyote Country.
Experience the magic and share the joy at Disney's Frozen, the spectacular new musical. From the producer of The Lion King and Aladdin, this beloved story comes to life on stage in an unforgettable theatrical experience. You've never seen Frozen like this.
Disney's Frozen is coming to First Interstate Center for the Arts, July 24th to August 4th. Don't be left out in the cold. Get tickets at BroadwaySpokane.com today.
Do more together. Whatever your plans are this season, do more in a new Chevy. Use your red tag bonus cash to get $87.50 total cash allowance on this Silverado. See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Whatever the holidays mean to you, get the most out of them in a new Honda. Whether it's taking the gang to the slopes in an available all-wheel drive Pilot, delivering presents in a rugged Passport, or all in a few toys for yourself in a powerful Ridgeline. Your holiday adventure awaits with a new Honda during Happy Honda Days. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
4 News Now is brought to you by Mechanics Pride.
All right, thanks for staying up with us here on Nightside. New on Nightside, if you have small kids, stay on your guard when you gather in the homes of your friends and family for the holidays. There are many potential hazards for children that are commonly overlooked. The Consumer Product Safety Commission worked with Good Morning America to create a Spot the Hazard quiz in the home of Yemi and Taiwo Oyeni, setting up hazards in various rooms to test their knowledge. They have a busy life keeping up with 6-year-old Daniel and toddler Anu.
2 now, so it's kind of like testing the waters to see what she can get away with.
So here to help is Alex Hohensarek, the chairman of the CPSC.
What advice do you have to parents?
Taking a few steps to anticipate the trouble that they could be getting into means that you can prevent a tragedy.
First, in the family room, the couple noticed water beads, a potential choking hazard, and glass lighting that could break. They also realized the couch is too close to the railing and a kid could easily fall over. The chairman then points out a potential hazard successfully avoided.
Fingerprints here, so if people climbing around, this is actually mounted to the wall, and that's great, because we have a lot of injuries from tip-overs of TVs and furniture.
Now, all furniture and TVs should be anchored to the wall, but one potential danger they missed, corded window coverings. Even cords mounted to the wall can create a strangulation risk if a child gets their head caught. Cordless window blinds are the safest option. The chairman also says to keep children out of the laundry and bathroom areas because detergent pods, medicine, and cleaning supplies can all be dangerous if consumed. And we have a consumer product alert for anyone who drives a Honda. The company is recalling 2.6 million cars due to an issue with the fuel pump that could cause it to fail, meaning your car could suddenly lose power. Models being recalled include the 2019 and 2020 model year Honda Accord, 2019 Odyssey, 2019 Pilot, 2019 Ridgeline, and many other Honda and Acura models. Honda says it will inform affected customers in stages because there aren't enough parts available to fix all of the vehicles at once. Well, soon enough, it will be time to file your taxes. I know you don't want to deal with it. Even though it's not for a couple of months, there are a few things you may still want to get done before ringing in the new year that can help maximize your refund or minimize the taxes you owe. TurboTax says that can start with contributing to your 401k. Then you're actually lowering your taxable income.
If your employers match, that's a win altogether because you're building your nest egg and then you're also increasing your retirement and lowering your taxable income.
Experts say it's also a great time to review your investments, especially if you took any losses, and finally prepare your documents so they're ready when you do file. Around the world tonight, at least 15 people were killed and 24 more injured in a shooting at a university in Prague. The gunman is also dead, and now police are searching for a possible motive. The country's police chief said preliminary information indicates the shooter was a 24-year-old student at Charles University in the Czech Republic. Police also saying they believe the suspect took his own life. Authorities have not formally identified the shooter due to the severity of his injuries. When the shooting began, though, dozens of students ran for cover, with some of them even hiding on the ledge of this building.
There was a couple of bangs. I didn't even realize it's a shooting. Then suddenly there were students and teachers running.
As of now, investigators say there's no indication this was an act of terrorism. All right, Washington State basketball earned its best win of the season so far. We hear from the Cougars following their thrilling victory over Boise State at the Spokane Arena. It's coming up next in sports. Don't go away.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Spokane Wedding Expo is January 6th. For tickets, visit SpokaneWeddingExpo.com.
ABC brings you one of the best shows in years.
Rock rocks the boat.
As we celebrate music's highest honor,
the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Featuring electric performances and iconic inductees, Sheryl Crow, Willie Nelson, Shaka Khan, George Michael, Rage Against the Machine, Kate Bush, Missy Elliott, and so many more.
To be standing here means so much to me.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony, Monday, January 1st on ABC, and stream next day on Hulu.
We love our house, but lately we've been feeling a little cramped.
So we talked to ICCU about a new home loan. The process was super quick, and we got a really great rate.
We start house hunting tomorrow.
Preferably something with a bigger garage.
Your whole health is more than what you find at the doctor's office, because it's all around you. The food you eat, what makes you happy, and what keeps you up at night. The place you call home. It's why we created a health insurance company that considers so much more. WellPoint, your whole health is our whole point.
The holidays inspire us all to connect. With family, with friends, no matter what the road throws at you. So find the connection you're looking for this winter in a new SUV with standard all-wheel drive during the Mazda Season of Inspiration sales event.
Right now at Foothills Mazda, get 0% financing for 5 years and 0 down payment with approved credit on the all-wheel drive Mazda CX-5. Shop now at SpokaneMazda.com.
Well, if Washington State basketball wants to make the NCAA tournament, they need to win games like tonight. Welcome into sports. I'm Julian Minnesome. The Cougars are taking on Boise State at Spokane Arena. It was WSU's final non-conference game of the season, and a win could be the difference between making the NCAA tournament and being left out in March. Spokane native Tyson Degenhardt making his return home to play in front of his family and friends. Well, WSU, they were hoping to spoil his homecoming as we pick things up here in the first half. And right on cue, it's Degenhardt from the outside, buries the three, just like his Mount Spokane days. Degenhardt had 12 points in this one, but Boise State had no answer for Isaac Jones. The big fella, 21 points and 3 chest bumps. Cougars led by 6 at halftime. Big play right here. Cougars down 2 late in the second half, and Jay Mullins cashes in from 3 as WSU takes the lead. Now, the Cougars handled business at the free throw line at the end of this game as well. 4 big free throws in the final minute. Now, 5-point game. Boise State has one final chance, but they can't convert the 3. WSU with the rebound, and they can celebrate as they come out on top in this one. Cougars win 66-61. WSU improves to 9-2, a huge victory to add to the NCAA tournament resume.
Like you said, big confidence booster. I believe it's just like it's going to help us carry over into conference play once we come back from break, because you know we got, not trying to look too forward, but you know we got Utah and Colorado on the road, 2 pretty good teams. You know, I've been able to see how they've been progressing each year, so it's going to be another good test for us.
A lot of respect for their program, what they do, and hopefully that gives us some confidence to be able to win a tough game in front of a good crowd against a good team, and that was special for us.
WSU opens up Pac-12 play against Utah next Friday. Now, Eastern Washington men's basketball taking on the Washington Huskies in Seattle. We picked things up in the final 2 minutes of the game. Huskies with the ball up by 4. Shot clock winding down. Xavier Wheeler banks it off the glass, and it goes in. As we take another look at that one, Wheeler had to just throw it up with the clock winding down, and the prayer was answered for the Huskies. Now just over a minute to go. Down by 6 is Eastern Washington. Jake Kyman steps back, pump fakes, and he can shoot it from 3. That cuts it to a 3-point game. And after some free throws, UW leading by 7 with 20 seconds to go. Eagles trying to score, but they turn the ball over. And that'll do it. Secures the win for Washington, 73-66. The Eagles, they'll open up Big Sky Conference play against Portland State a week from tonight. Idaho men's basketball on the road at UC Riverside. First half, Vandals up by 3, and that's when Julius Mims takes flight. The one-handed dunk and the foul as Idaho led by 2 at halftime. UC Riverside's turn now. Caleb Smith off the pick and roll is going to finish in the lane off the glass, and it ties the game up. This one was back and forth all game long, but Riverside made a few more plays in this one. Caleb Smith steps back, knocks down the 3 as Idaho falls on the road, 82-67. The Vandals will open up conference play against Sacramento State a week from tonight. And Idaho's starting quarterback has found a new home for next season. Giovanni McCoy is transferring to Oregon State. McCoy passed for nearly 3,000 yards and 15 touchdowns, leading to the Vandals' FCS quarterfinals appearance this season. He was also named the first-team Big Sky quarterback. McCoy also earned the Jerry Rice Freshman of the Year award in 2022, becoming the first Idaho player to win the honor. And how about that game across the street? Wow.
Yeah, it was really fun, and I'd been concerned about the Cougs and not being a great free throw shooting team this year, and then they made the big ones down the stretch, so important win for them.
Improvement could be the difference between getting in the tournament in March, for sure.
No doubt. All right, we're back with more after this.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app. At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
Roundup's like an accidental savings account. I get paid every time I buy something. It's like a bonus for me.
Bounce from one doctor to the next. Does it have to be like this?
At Kaiser Permanente, we have a different kind of health care.
So, how did you like that?
Where all of us work together for all that is you.
This may look like a holiday shopping showdown, but it's a Nissan sales event ad. Good thing my Rogue has intelligent all-wheel drive.
So does my Altima.
Now get 1.9% APR financing for 60 months or save up to $2,500 on Rogue. Better hurry. These offers won't be back in stock.
Choosing a bathroom remodeler is a big decision. Pacific Bath is your trusted Kohler walk-in bath dealer, providing a down-to-the-penny price backed by Kohler's limited lifetime warranty. Kohler is a global leader with 150 years designing American-engineered custom bathing solutions. Now, during our end-of-the-year blowout sale, receive $1,500 off a new Kohler walk-in bath, plus great financing with no interest and no payments till summer 2025.
See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.
Fog tonight and tomorrow morning. Then we have some rain coming in by around noon, possibly transitioning over into something that might look a little like snow in the evening, but nothing to shovel.
Okay. So just some light stuff, maybe.
That's right.
But then the weekend, dry again.
Yeah, we're dry and maybe even see some sunshine.
Okay. Chris, thank you so much. That's going to do it for us here on Nightside. For updates as they happen, get the KXLY 4 News Now app on your smartphone or check out KXLY.com. Be sure to tune in to Good Morning Northwest bright and early at 5 a.m. We'll see you tomorrow.